guys, this is Nick the Booksmith. Welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to tackle a project. I have started a little series of, hey, let's use our scrap pile. Let's use the stuff we already have in our supply closet, bucket, box, whatever you've got, tote. And so we're going to make something fun today. This is a bill organizer. And so we're going to get started on creating this craft. And so if you would like to go ahead and download the little templates that go with this so you can make one with me, go to my blog and get those and print those out real quick. They're absolutely free. The link is down in the description box below. They print out on just regular 8.5 by 11 inch copy paper, just plain old regular copy paper, so nothing fancy. You will also need 7 12 by 12 sheets of any kind of cardstock. So it can be plain cardstock. It can be like patterned cardstock like this if you want to use patterned cardstock. So anyway, you'll need 6 to 7 sheets of that cardstock and your printouts, some glue. If you want to distress anything, you'll need your distress ink. You'll need some paper clips. And then you'll need some little rings of some sort or something. All right, guys, I will wait for you to go get your stuff if you wanna make this with me today, and we'll get started. Okay, so let's get started. So what I have done is I have taken some 12-inch cardstock that I'm not particularly jazzed about. Like, this isn't something that I was going to be using in anything right now. It's just in my stash. You know, you get those paper packs and you love most of what's in it, or sometimes you don't even love most of what's in it. And there are those pages that always get, you know, shoved into your scrap pile. You're like, I don't know if you're going to use this. So anyway, this happens to be Tim Holtz. It's double-sided. You don't have to use double-sided. This is just what happened to be in my stash, so I just kind of dragged out some of those. And you will need 6 pieces of 12-inch cardstock. So 6 of these in whatever you want. It can even be plain 12-inch. It doesn't even have to be patterned cardstock. You can use whatever you want. It doesn't matter. So you'll need 6 of these, and what you want to do is you want to cut them exactly in half vertically, so you have 2 6-inch pieces on each side. And so that's what I have here for that. And if you decide what I did for the cover is I used an old hanging file folder that I just cut apart. These are also 12 inches high, or approximately 12 inches high. And so you can get away with this for a cover. If you have any of these lying around, I have a stack of, I don't know, a dozen or so, and I'm like, I'm just gonna start using stuff up. So instead of using a 7th piece of cardstock, of the patterned cardstock, I just grabbed one of these for the cover. And then what I did was I cut, this is about the 6-inch mark. There's like a little score line on this. So this is the hinge, you know, you have your hinge, and so I cut it in the hinge, and then I cut a 6-inch slice for the front and a 6-inch slice for the back. And for the front, for the first one, so this was my 6-inch wide, and what you do is you grab your scoreboard because you're going to need 12 12 pages that have a pocket scored in them. So what we did was, as you can see, I rounded the edges, but so this is it's actually not quite 12 inches. It's like 11 3/4, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So I just kind of lined it up there and I scored it at the 9-inch scoring line, and then whatever folds over, folds over. So on the taller cardstock, it's going to be a little bit deeper of a pocket, and then on this front one, it's a little shorter, but it doesn't matter. So that's what I did. So all 11 pages got scored at the 9-inch mark. So this is my front cover right here. But my back cover does not need a pocket in it. So I just cut it at the 9-inch tall mark instead of scoring it and folding it up. So it doesn't need a pocket on the back cover. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take these last 3 right here, and I've got you decide what side you want the pocket on, and it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I guess I should put it my way, huh? And I'm just gonna line this up. I'm gonna find the 9-inch. You find your top and your bottom, and this is where I want my top. So my pocket's gonna go at the bottom. So there's that. So, and then here's this one. So here's another pocket. Here's this one. And then here is the third one. I'll put this away because I think I'm done. Okay, now I have these last 3 pages, and what I did with each page is I punched some holes. And what I did was I just took the back page, and I didn't even measure. I just punched 3 holes with my hole punch, and then I got my hole reinforcers. And what I like to do is I like to take my Distress ink pad and I put it on my little dauber, and I just run that Distress ink over the page tabs so that they're brown and not white. And then I put the hole reinforcers on both sides. And this is my template for making holes in all of them. So here we go. And you're going to want to make the holes on the left side of the page that does not have the pocket. So the pocket is on the back side, so you want them over here on this side. So left side without the pocket. I'm going to line that up like that. And I just kind of line them up. Take my hole punch, and you punch through the pocket and the cover. And let's punch through all 3. Now you have your holes there. And I'm going to take my hole reinforcers. And you don't have to do this if you don't want to. I just think it looks cool. And it's going to help with keeping everything nice and sturdy, right? And it's going to take a lot of these because if there's a hole reinforcer on each side of the 3 holes, that's 6 reinforcers per page, and there are 13. So 12 times 3, or 12 times 6 is 72. And then 13 times 6 is 78. So you're going to need a few hole reinforcers. So here we go. I just put those on there. And of course that's the pocket, but it gets a hole reinforcer too. So set that boy aside. And here is this side, and so we want to line this one up. Left side of the page that does not have the pocket on it. And we punch. And we punch. And one more. And then we put our hole reinforcers on these. I went ahead and did some earlier so that you didn't have to watch me do all of them, because I thought that'd be ridiculous. You just watch me put hole reinforcers, all 78 of them on on the pages. That'd be kind of boring. It'd be really boring. Super boring. One more. Okay. And then what you're going to want to do is, and you don't have to do this part, I just wanted to, is I have my little corner punchy thingy. And also on the page that does not have the pocket, on the right hand side, I'm going to corner chomp these, just because aesthetically I like the way it looks. So there we go. And the pocket was folded when I did that, so as you can see, it corner chomped the pocket too. So I will do that to all of the pages, all 12 of them, the front and the back covers, opposite side of where your holes are. Okay, now I have all of my pages put together. I have 12 with the pocket, and then the back cover that does not have the pocket. All right, so we have all of our 12 pocket pages, and this is also optional, but I think it looks kind of cute. If you have a large hole punch, this happens to be a 2-inch. I'm going to just kind of center that, kind of guesstimate that, and punch part of a circle out so that it has kind of a little bit of a little thumb hole there. And I just think it looks kind of cool, but it's optional for sure. It's not, you know, I just like the way it looks. So you can do that with each one if you want. And then we are going to glue or staple or double-sided sticky tape, whatever it is that you float your boats. And we're gonna glue these pocket pages up and make sure that those are nice and secure. All 12 pages, the cover and then the 11 inside pages all get this treatment. All right, so we've got everything glued together. Here is the front cover with the pocket behind, and then we have 11 inside pages with their pockets all folded up and glued. All right, so what we're going to do next is we're going to take our printouts, and I've done it in two ways because I wanted to show you. So these I've printed out just on regular white copy paper because if that's all you have, that's cool. You can ink the edges if you would like to make them look a little bit dirtier if you want to go in a vintage way, but maybe you don't want to go vintage. Maybe you've used some really cute cardstock, some different kinds of papers, and you don't want vintage. You just want white and bright. These printouts are in black and white, so you can print them out on any color paper that you would like. So that is totally up to you. But we're going to print one of these, and 3 of the tally sheets. And what I have done for my book is I have printed them out. I have this, this isn't tea-stained paper. You can print these onto tea-stained pages if you would like, but I happen to have in my stash again this stationery that looks aged. As you can see, it's just kind of, it looks aged. And I'm like, I'm gonna use up what's in my stash. And see, it's white on the back. So I have, this is what I'm going to use, and I printed this out onto these pages. So let me cut out my months. I'm going to choose which little book plate I want on the front. I am going to cut these apart so that each one is its own little calendar page. And then these come 4 on a sheet, so I need to cut these out each one so that I will have 12, because I have printed out 3 copies of this sheet. So I will be right back and I will get all of these cut out. All right, so I've gotten all of my tally grids all cut out, all 12 of them. I cut out all the months, and then I inked around the edges. Again, you don't have to do that. And then I've got the little at a glance calendar pages, and I inked around those too. Again, not necessary, but you know. So this is what we're gonna do. I take the front cover, and I picked out this one for my front cover, and I inked it too, of course I did. You could also choose the expenses one, and then I have a blank one so that you could write whatever you would like in there if you want to do something different. Maybe you don't want to keep track of expenses. Maybe you have another monthly tally that you want to keep track of. Totally up to you. So that's why I did that, so that you could switch it around if you wanted. All right, so I put some glue on the back of my little 2018, and I'm just gonna kind of plop that puppy right in the middle, up near the top. I also, because this is just from a upcycled file folder, I did ink around the edges, just so that it wasn't all clean and pretty, and I inked the back sides too. Okay, so I have them all in order the way that they are going to go, and this is what you do. You turn the first one over. We can just use this one, set these to the side. So here's your first spread on the inside. So this is what your first spread is gonna look like. And each month will have a pocket page, and this is what I call the bulletin board page. And this is what I'm going to do, and you can change up the format however you decide, but I'm gonna take my little month label, and it's gonna go over here, either in the middle, over here on the side. Maybe it can go like this. I mean, you could put it up here, whatever you would like to do. I'm going to just, for simplicity's sake, I need more coffee this morning, I think. So I'm gonna put some glue on the back of this guy. And if I can pick it up, I'm just going to put that right in the middle, just right there. But again, if you don't like it there, put it somewhere else. It's okay. And then on the bulletin board side, we're going to take one of our expense tallies. And again, this is also up to you where you put it, but I'm going to put mine again on the bottom. Okay, so I don't want to put it over the holes on the side, so I'm just going to like put it over here on this side a little bit so I don't cover one of those holes. I was thinking you could also print these out on parchment paper. I think that would be pretty. Okay, so I'm going to put that there, and then we're going to take the corresponding calendar at a glance, and that way you just have a reference point. There's not a whole lot of room to write on it. It's just a reference point so that you know what day is what and that kind of thing. And I'm going to put it up at the top on the side nearest the little hole punchies, like that. And then what this leaves room for right here is I'm going to grab a nice big paper clip, and this is going to be a spot where I have cut out some little note paper out of tea stained paper, and this note paper happens to be 2 1/4 by 4 1/4. And it's gonna slip in right there. And then that way, if you have some extra notes, just some little guys that you want to slip in here, you can write notes on here. You can put 2 pieces of paper in here, whatever you'd like to do, but it's just a place to jot down notes. So there's your spread for each month. This is what it's going to look like. So when you want to start your next spread, you just turn this over and you grab the next page, and then there's your next spread. So we put our month over here, our tally sheet over here, our month up here, and then grab a paper clip to do our little note paper here. So this is what I'm going to do for each of the spreads so that each month has this. And I will be right back. And I used these little rings, but really you could use anything you wanted to attach these together to thread through the holes. You could use these book ring thingies, like they have hinges on them. You could use even like twine. You could wrap that around and just tie it. You could use strips of fabric if you wanted. You could take the shoelaces out of your kids' sneakers. You could take the parachute cord out of Uncle Bill's well, maybe don't do that. Don't take parachute cord. Forget I even said that. That might be bad. So don't take parachute cord. But anything that you want to string through these holes is absolutely up to you. The reason why I chose metal is because it seems to open and close easier, because there's less resistance, because the metal doesn't have any, doesn't hold any resistance. I'm not a huge fan of rings, but these were just jump rings, and they were 15, there we go, come on. They were 15 millimeter heavy gauge jump rings, and they could have been a little bit bigger. 20 millimeter probably would have been perfect, but that's not what I had in my stash. So, so I put the little rings through through all the holes, and I've got my 2018 here. When you open it up, this is how it's gonna look. So on this side, you've got a pocket. So let's say you have a bill to pay. Well, you just slip your bill in there because it's due in January. And then that way, when you pay it, you can put down the date, what it is, and how much you paid. Here is your calendar at a glance, and then extra paper for notes in case you need to write something down. And then basically that's what every spread looks like. You've got a pocket to put bills in, or like I said, you don't have to use this for bills. You can use it for any kind of record keeping that you need to keep. All you would have to do if you decide not to use it for expenses, you could either cut off this top row and then write in your own whatever it is that you're going to be keeping track of. You could leave the date, but you could write a different, whatever you want. You know what you're doing. But anyway, every single spread has that. So the back of each bulletin board page is the front of the pocket page on the next side. So we all everyone has a pocket and then a bulletin board to keep track of all of your bills. And then this is the very back page, of course, and then it's all closed. So there we have it, a fun little project. So I hope you guys enjoyed making that with me today. I've got another use your scrap pile project coming up very soon, because I need some motivation to work through my scrap pile, and I thought maybe you guys did too. So this was one way, and I will be coming out with another way very soon. All right, guys, have a great day, and I will catch you very soon in the next video. Bye, guys.